Recording. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Kong Family Show. We have a couple of very special guests today. We have Meinke. Is that how you pronounce that?
Meinke.
Meinke.
Yeah, close enough. That's good enough.
Okay. And looks like her friend Denise has joined in with us as well. So that's wonderful. Denise, if you by chance have the ability to show us your beautiful face, we'd sure appreciate that. But here at the Kong family, what we're trying to do here is we got, hey, look at you, look at that beautiful thing, awesome. I love to see a good smile in the mornings. That's beautiful. Welcome to the show, Denise. And but anyway, here at the Kong family, we have this really simple goal. It's real basic and simple. We just want to change the world, and make no bones about it. That's exactly what we're doing. And we're doing that through people like Ann and Denise and myself and thousands and thousands of other people around the world. And so that's what our goal is. That's what we're doing. And that's why we bring people in here to share their stories with the world, because the truth of the matter is, like for me, it wasn't a bunch of facts and figures that got me involved with Kong and Water. It was a story. It was an incredible story from a beautiful angel named Brittany Dykes. And she put the post out that I finally, all of a sudden, my brain cell turned on, and I had to click that see more button, and I read her story, and that story changed my life. And that is the basis behind why I created the Kong family, because really and truly what we are is we're a big family of incredible people who really just want to help each other. And the way that we change the world is by helping each other. And one of the best ways that we can help each other, kids, is by sharing our stories, by telling the stories that got us where we are and why we're there and that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to just start this out real quick by asking I have this kind of set of questions, and sometimes those questions lead to more questions, and so we'll just see where it goes. And one thing I want to let everybody know is that none of this is scripted. I mean, the questions that I ask, they're kind of scripted because I want to kind of get the same information out of everybody. But what's crazy about it is the different stories, the different answers, the different stuff that comes out of it. And it's cool because it all comes from the heart. Whatever it is you're going to be saying today, Ann, and you, Denise, it's coming from the heart. It's not coming from some script that you wrote up last night or the night before or a week ago that you've got this all planned out. It's going to be coming right from here. And these things, these kinds of stories right here are the stories that change the world. And so with that said, Ann, what I would like to ask you to start with is, how, why, and when did you get involved with Kong's Water? And were you a skeptic like me? I was a big time skeptic. And I thought it was ridiculous and it's just stupid. Water's water. This is just crazy. I can't believe he's posting about this garbage. Yeah. And so what was your story in that regard? Did you get right in, or did you have to take some time? Were you a skeptic? And, who changed your life?
So I heard of this water many, many times before I actually gave it a chance. And I would say it was like 3.5 years on in my health journey that I saw my first demo, I think 2 years into my health journey. And then 2 years later is when I purchased my machine. And I'd been exposed to it a few times, and I went and I saw a demo, but when I saw the demo, I just wasn't ready. And I just wasn't ready for it, I guess. Like it didn't fully compute in my head like how important this was. And then I found it again 2 years later. And by this time, like I used to have a lot of health issues. When I was 22, my body started to shut down. The doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. They just wanted to put me on more pills. And I was already on 5. And I was just like, hey, like something's got to change. And so I started doing research, and I changed my diet and my lifestyle. And I went to like a plant-based diet, and I quit smoking, and I like lessened my drinking by a lot. And so I had a lot of, I healed a lot by doing that. And then when I found this water, it took it to a whole another level that I didn't even know was really possible. And when I found it, something just finally clicked, like, hey, we're 70% water, and it actually matters what kind of water we put in our body and how much we put in our body too.
Yes.
Yes.
How about you?
I know.
What happened with you? What was your story in that regard? We got you here. We might as well ask you some questions. Let's hear your story.
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Anne introduced me to the water. And I went up to visit her, well, actually meet her first time in person, used the water in her machine, in her kitchen, and I was sold. I was there for 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah.
And felt incredible. And came home and purchased my machine not too long later, huh?
So how long has it been for you that you've had your own machine and been part of the Kong family?
A little over a year.
Awesome. That's
and tell them what you're doing now. Tell them what you're doing now with it, Denise.
So 7 months ago, I opened a juice bar here in our little town of Bandon, and we have a water sharing station. And so we have 2 beautiful machines, and people didn't know about the water here. We're in a little coastal town, and just started getting people on the water, and now we're sharing water with about 40 people. And it's so cool to see people walk, down the street or something with their little Kangen bag.
I love it.
And so now people are having amazing results so quick. I think one of our best success stories, they're all great stories, but we had a 31-year-old woman who was just, she had chronic fatigue. They diagnosed her with fibromyalgia, and she just couldn't function, and she just didn't want to continue living that way. And so 2 weeks on the water, and she was able to go to the gym and exercise, and now she's off all of her fibro medications and is just thriving. And she personally, I think, has like 12 people coming in and getting the water.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I want to introduce you to my Kong brother. This guy right here is my partner in crime. And what's crazy about it is he and I are the epitome of what the Kong family is all about, because I'm not in his line, he's not in my line, but we work together pretty much every day, sharing the story, sharing the word, getting it out there. And, so Shawn, as usual, I'm always tickled when you jump in, because you always add so dang much value to the show. And so why don't you say hello to the gals here, Denise and Ann.
Hi, girls. Hi. Sorry to be running on old Bitterrooter time, but I had some things I had to handle this morning. Nevertheless, I had to jump on. JJ's, he's right. The whole objective here is just to really give power to those that are willing to jump on with us. It's giving a power to our overall message with Kangen. I mean, we were all sitting there looking at the guy or the gal trying to sell it to us whenever that was, and raising our eyebrow and curling our lip going, you've got to be kidding me. But our ability to think for ourselves, our ability to think critically, our ability to accept the truth as it comes and not, it doesn't have to hurt. We all go through our story, and it's just neat to see this Kong family. Look at you, Ann, you little show off. That a girl. I might join you, sugar. Shazam. So that's awesome. I mean, the bottom line is you guys are on board. You're doing what you're doing. We're just trying to gain traction. We're trying to help everyone out there that sees the vision gain traction on what we're doing. Because this whole change in the world thing, it might sound like a pretty superlative claim, but when you're sincere, when you're authentic, and you really have something that has the power and capability to do just that, we got to be running around like John Stockton looking for some Karl Malone to be filling the break, to pass him the ball and let him score, So, yeah. Uh-oh. She's getting after it. Look, we got her stirred up. That a girl,
we got magic happening, baby. Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yes, that's right.
So that is
So yeah,
fantastic.
that's my 2 cents for now. Glad to have you girls on the show. Are you guys in each other's organization? Are you working together? Is that the gig? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep. Awesome.
Cool.
So,
yeah,
Ann,
I'll let the master interviewer take over. I might interject here.
Great, thanks, Shawn.
Yeah,
Pardon me?
Sean's always got great stuff to add to the presentation, and you know, he always throws golden nuggets out there for people, and so I really appreciate him being here, and you know, he's really been a blessing for my life, and so
People used to be able to say I was full of shit, but still I started drinking Kangen. They can't make that claim. I am free. I cannot be accused of being full of shit anymore, and that is to me huge.
You know, we like to have some fun around this joint too, you know, because this is a serious thing. Quite frankly, you know, I always tell people when they ask me what Kangen water is, I tell them it's the single most important thing that they could ever do for themselves. And you know, the truth is that's totally serious. There's no humor in that at all. It's absolutely serious as a heart attack. But the truth is, we also like to have fun doing what we're doing. And I tell people all the time, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing something wrong. You need to do something else. And that's just the way it is. And so I like to have a lot of fun with what I'm doing. It's so much more fun when we can have some giggles and that kind of stuff. It makes people a little bit more at ease and makes it more enjoyable for people to watch. When they see people having fun, they usually like to try and go have some fun with them. And so, you know,
what
with
are these guys drinking?
yeah.
What are they drinking? I want some of that.
Get it, drink it, live it. Kong, baby. And, so anyway, Ann, let's move along here with, you know, I'd like to hear a little bit more detail, if you don't mind, about, you know, how Kong has actually changed your life. You know, you were a little bit of a skeptic like I was, and it took you some time to, you know, you wasted 2 perfectly good years of Kong life, but now you're here and now you're rocking and rolling. And so, you know, tell us, you know, like I was saying, the stories are what change people's lives. So what was you know, you mentioned that you had some health issues. So maybe expand a little bit on your health issues and how that ended, how Kong ended up giving your machine, this machine right here. This is the ultimate machine on the planet. And this machine does amazing things when it gets the fuel and the electricity that it needs, which we understand that that's what Kong does, is it provides the machine with the tools that it needs to fix itself. It's a gift. It's not a miracle. The miracle is this thing right here. Kong is a tool and a gift from God and Mr. Ashiro. And so, you know, what does that gift manage to do for your machine over the period of time you've been utilizing it?
So our immune system is powerful if we let it be powerful, if we're not constantly bogging it down. And that's what I did. I grew up on the standard American diet and ate mostly packaged food. I didn't eat very many fresh fruits and vegetables. I didn't know how to cook. So at 22, I was on 5 medications. I was on 1 for my low thyroid, which they told me I was going to be on for the rest of my life. I was on 1 for acne, which I had struggled with acne for like 10 years. I was on, they gave me an antibiotic to take every day for acne, which I later found out is like one of the worst things you can do, which is probably contributing to my bladder infection I was getting on a weekly basis. Right. I was also on I was on Adderall every day. I was on a mood stabilizer and a sleeping pill. So those are the 5 pills that they had me on by age 22. And I'd like to have a conversation with my doctor. I think she's retired now, but the breaking point for me was when my digestive tract just kind of started to shut down. I also started having troubles breathing. I was smoking a pack a day, so no wonder. I felt like I was breathing through a straw. Like, you know, I don't know. In high school, they gave you a little straw, and it was like, if you become a smoker, this is what it's gonna feel like. That's what I started feeling like. And then my digestive tract, even a sip of water or a bite of banana, it would be just like fire. Like I would be in tears, like crying. It was so painful. And I kept going to the doctors, and they kept giving me more different pills for my symptoms. And it was just this huge rabbit hole that I didn't even realize I jumped down. So I started doing research, and like I said, I found the plant-based diet, and I actually went raw vegan, and I ate mostly just fruits and vegetables uncooked. And so for the first time in my life, I was actually hydrated in a way because eating cooked foods, it dehydrates you, and everything else I was doing was dehydrating. And so I started eating all these juicy fruits, and I started to feel hydrated, and I was able to get off all my medications, and my body kind of brought itself back to balance. And I felt really good when I was eating raw, but I had a really hard time keeping up that lifestyle. For one, I live in Washington. We don't have, maybe if I lived in Hawaii and had like fresh mangoes in my yard and stuff like that, but I don't. And just all around me, my whole family, like no one was eating like me. So it was just really difficult with society to keep that up. And plus I had cravings. Like I craved a sweet potato. Like I just wanted a cooked sweet potato so bad. And so I was like almost like miserable. I like felt good when I ate this way, but I was like mentally miserable. Like it was like a mental challenge, and it just wasn't satisfying. And so when I found the water, I was skeptic because I was taught that eating raw foods was the best way to hydrate. And I felt good, eating that way. But I gave this water a chance, and I started drinking a gallon a day. And I saw that I could drink this water and eat kind of more whatever I wanted and still feel just as good, which was like huge for me. And my skin has never been clearer since I've been drinking the water. Even when I was raw vegan, if I would slip up and have like some fries or something like greasy, or even have like cheese or something, I would break out in my skin. And now I can have cheese again sometimes, or eat the French fries, and my skin has like, I don't get acne very, very at all, pretty much. And I've also been able to, one of the main reasons, again, I switched my diet and lifestyle I switched it for health reasons. And then when I saw the weight loss effects of eating raw foods, I was like sold. I was like, this is so cool. But then as soon as I would like switch and start eating more cooked foods, the weight would come right back on. And with the water, I was able to lose all the yo-yo weight that I lost 30 pounds with the water, and was able to keep it off, which was huge for me, because even just losing that small amount of weight changes like how you move throughout life. It changes like energy levels. Even like getting off the couch was annoying when I was 30 pounds overweight. Like it was starting to become like a hassle. And now, I'm 6 months pregnant now, so I've gained some of that weight back. It's a little more difficult to get off the couch. But yeah, so my main side effects or side benefits was my 30 pounds of weight loss, which was huge for me. My clear skin, exercising, I don't feel really sore at all, or if I am any kind of sore, like it just goes away super quickly. And I don't really get sick. And if I do start to feel any kind of sickness coming on, I'll go straight into water fasting with the Kangen water, of course. And and if I can stick to it, it's like gone. Like I just don't even get sick. So I didn't get sick this whole winter, and I'm pregnant. So that's pretty cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I know there's a lot more benefits, but those are like my top.
Wow, that's such a great story. Hey, Denise, are you there? She must have to jump out. She
runs an adult family home, so she's probably still listening, but getting her kid, we call them her kids, out of bed.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing you'll find out about me. I call everybody kids. One of my favorite things in the world to do is when I see an old couple, they're in their 80s or whatever, and you walk up to them and go, "Hey, how you kids doing today?" And it's so funny watching them blush and their faces turn red, and they just get such a kick out of being called a kid when they're that age. And one of my mottos is never grow old. You're gonna get old, but you don't need to grow old. You don't need to get old up here. You can always remain a kid right here. And that's what I do. I call everybody kids, and most people don't mind it, but some people get irritated by getting called a kid, but they don't understand, how important it is, because when we're kids, we don't have a worry in the world. Most kids don't even have a worry in the world. And as we grow up and get into society, all of a sudden the worries just come out of the woodwork. And so, if you always have that mindset of staying young, it really helps. And so that's just another part of the awesome family that we're involved with, and things that I've learned over the years and love to share with people. And so, that's incredible. And so I would imagine now that you're doing what you're doing, that you've probably shared this water with quite a few people. And you've probably seen some pretty incredible stories in that regard. Is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience in regards to how you've helped other people get their lives changed for the better as well?
Yeah. So when I first got my machine, I didn't know if I really wanted to like share or like work the business side of it, but it just kind of like naturally happened. And the first person who got a machine was Denise. And then a few months later, she opened up a juice bar. So, and down in Oregon. So I'm in Washington. It's about an 8-hour drive between us. And I've driven down there like 5 or 6 times and helped her out at the juice bar. And going down there and watching everything kind of unfold, like I went down, I like just seeing the evolution of the juice bar. Like it went from like a nail salon, and then they redid the whole thing into a juice bar, and then, you know, got the water station set up, and going down there when they first opened, and then going down there like a month later and seeing, and every time I go down there, there's like someone new's on the water, or I go and see like someone who's been on the water, and like the woman she was talking about, who was 31 and had fatigue, and her whole life she was just like it seemed like she was kind of miserable. And I remember meeting her when she first came in, and I was like, hey, you should just try the water, see if it works for you, because it helped me. And then, you know, the doctors didn't really know they didn't know what was wrong with her. They just kept diagnosing her with different things. Yeah. And same thing with me. They didn't really know what was wrong with me. And then the next time I came down there, she was like totally different person. And I'm just like, wow, it's so cool. So every time I go down there, there's like new people on the water, new stories to hear. And people are coming, like they're addicted, like they're coming in every other day or every day. So there's been a lot of cool stories out of there. Up here, personally, I know like my grandma was super skeptic, and she was actually, when I got my machine, I was not financially in any position to be making any purchases really, but I had convinced them to get rid of their RO, reverse osmosis, and put a Kangen machine in. And they were skeptic at first, and they actually, the day we got our machine, they're snowbirds, and they went down to Arizona, so they didn't get to try the water right away, but when they came back, they started drinking it. And then the next time they went down to Arizona, they felt the difference in their body, and they're like, holy guacamole, and they ended up getting a second machine to take down to Arizona with them. And so that was really cool to watch them go from like, we'll support you, and like, we believe that you believe in this, and to them believing it themselves. And then they, you know, they have the turmeric, and they have the spa now, and they have all the things, and they share about it with their friends and family too.
Wow. Shawn, do you have anything to add or ask? Anything come to your brain cell that you want to ask Ann here?
No, I just think, I just love hearing that. And like, you know, you just hear the progression. You hear people going from not having it to, you know, being addicted to it. You know, it's just a matter of being open-minded enough to try it. You know, some people are so obstinate, and I could get into a couple of stories of, you know, buddies of mine, and I gotta, you know, girls are smarter than we are. Women are smarter than we are. I mean, they might be, you know, a little more complicated, but they're way more intelligent than we are on a normal level. So I actually like talking with women more, because they're a little more open to, I don't know, common sense, where it seems like guys were all into pride and ego, and, oh, you can't show me that. I'm supposed to show you that. So it's just neat to hear kind of how, you know, Denise got it, how she got it, and how everything, you know, next thing you know, people are doing UConn, the NESPA. You know, that's the whole idea. I think everybody should do the trifecta ultimately. You know, I went about it the whole completely different. So it's just neat to see people being more in that whole organization over in Western Washington, BC, you know, Siha and Roger and, you know, Jim and all those guys, man. That's what they're doing. They're really trying to get people to understand the hat trick, you know, the trifecta of Enagic's products. So no, it's just a great story. I love the fact that I've got some pregnancy resources too, sister, if I can help you with any of those. I mean, obviously you're going through it. The fact that you've been pregnant for this time and not been sick at all, just directly Can you speak to that? Do you think, do you know too many women that have never had morning sickness, or do you think it had something to do with Kangen? Wink, wink, nod, nod. Talk to me, sister. Tell me something.
So my first pregnancy, I believed I was infertile. My body was so sick. When I was 22, my periods were like way out of whack. I started getting my periods twice a month, and just had a lot of pain, a lot of cramps. And I even made them do like an ultrasound down there to make sure I didn't have anything growing or something. I was like, I thought I was, back then I honestly was like, breast cancer was in my family. So I just figured I was going to get some type of cancer, just die from it. And I was like, at 22, I was just like, all right, that's probably what's going to happen. Like it's okay. But then when I switched everything up, I got pregnant like super fast. Like all of a sudden I was super fertile or something. And so my first pregnancy, it went pretty good. I definitely had morning sickness. And I was working at a restaurant at the time. And so I remember just having to run to the bathroom often. And it was like a greasy breakfast place where I was working. And I was like newly vegan. It was an interesting experience. But I had a fairly good pregnancy. I was eating mostly raw back then, and I didn't have any real complications or anything. I had a home birth it was a little longer than I would have liked, but it went well. The difference with this pregnancy, I barely had any morning sickness. I think I puked only twice, and if I stay on my water regimen, I feel fantastic. But it's sticking to it, which is the harder part, especially when pregnant, because you get those pregnancy cravings. But with the water, I am able to eat my pregnancy cravings without having it really affect me as much, which is huge for me to be able to kind of sway from my normal strict, like eating super healthy diet and be able to like have some of my craving foods and not have it like affect my body in a negative way like it used to. And I definitely feel, this pregnancy, it's hard to compare them really because I have a 4-year-old now that I'm taking care of. And so that drains my energy quicker than anything else. Just having our morning conversation about eating a healthy breakfast versus eating like what he wants to eat, which is like a granola bar, which is fine on some days, but I'd rather him start with something healthier, and just like simple conversations like that, where my boy is very stubborn like me. So it's kind of karma. But but it's hard to like fully compare them because a lot of my energy is going towards taking care of my son. But I definitely feel I'm not eating as healthy as my first pregnancy, and I don't feel it affecting me, which is huge. And I do think that the water has so much to do with it, especially with the morning sickness, because before I got pregnant, I had heard that like morning sickness or like nausea was just a sign of dehydration. And because I didn't understand how like some people got it, some people didn't. Like, why do we get sick when we're pregnant? We're like creating life. Why would we get sick? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, how can I? And I remember thinking like, how can I prevent nausea? And the first time around, I didn't even get sick until I found out I was pregnant. So I was wondering if it was like more placebo, and we're just taught over and over again that this is how pregnancy works. You get sick, the labor sucks, and this is just how it is. And for me, I had I did home birth, no medications. And sorry, I'm getting totally off topic here, but I think it has to do with mindset.
Go ahead.
You're totally
it has to do with mindset, and it has to do with hydrating properly. Hydration and mindset are the two biggest things I think for health and for healthy pregnancy.
Wow,
Did that answer your question?
Great stuff. Yeah, and these are the kinds of things that change lives right here, these kinds of stories. That's why we're so adamant about trying to share them. And Denise, I would really love, the next time you go down there to the juice bar, and what would be really super cool would be to do a special edition show, even if it ends up being at a different time of the day. If it doesn't happen at 8:45 a.m., Mountain Time like normal, or if it happens on the weekend, I think it would be a blast to do a show from the bar, and you could like interview some of the people and ask them what they're feeling, how that's going, and that'll give some exposure to your juice bar as well. And because all of these are getting recorded, and they're going to get downloaded or uploaded to YouTube, and then you're going to get links to them, and they're going to get shared out to groups, and you're welcome to take the link and share it to your heart's content, because this right here, this is going to be a really powerful show. There, you know, these shows that we've been doing, they just keep getting more and more and more and more powerful as time goes on. You know, last month we reached well, about 4,000 people, and I think this month we're going to probably reach more like 8,000 people, and it's just going to keep growing exponentially as people come on here like yourselves, and you see and you understand what a great platform this is for us to be able to share stories and share the magic that is Kong's water. And so it's really such a blessing for us to have you guys on here. And Denise, you probably heard everything that Ann just said right there. And we'd like to hear your story too. You know, what has Kong done for you, you know, for your machine to help it do its thing, help it work its magic? What kind of stories do you have to share with our audience?
I'm just way more hydrated. I'm sleeping better. And I have an adult foster home. And so we take care of the elderly. And I've been able to eliminate most of the chemicals from our house, which is huge in sanitizing and cleaning up oopses. And I have noticed that like a lot of the elderly, they have issues with breathing and need their little breathing treatments and their inhalers and stuff. And since we haven't been using so many chemicals in the house, that most of them are not needing those breathing treatments as often, which is huge. And I never even thought about that, you know, before my eyes were opened to chemicals. You know, we would go around and, you know, spray the Lysol and all that, because we needed to disinfect things, you know, and the better the house smelled as far as chemicals go, then I thought it was cleaner. Right. And now we truly have a clean house with just, you know, sanitizing with the water. And as far as like skin condition, that's what really sold me on the machine. So one of our residents had a skin issue that we just couldn't clear up. It just wouldn't clear up. We used all these different powders and creams and ointments, and it just wouldn't clear. And so Ann sent me home with a little spice bottle of 2.5. Came home and used that for like 3 days, I think, and it cleared up and has not come back. And it's been over a year.
Wow.
So that was like, I need this in my life, and we need this because, you know, no amounts of, you know, creams, and it's just, you know, taking it away topically, but until you get to the root of it is when you see the magic happen. And so now all my residents, they drink the water. We've even had one complain that she doesn't like the water because she's pooping every day and it's a pain in the butt. And I'm like, but you're supposed to poop every day. And she's like, I don't want to, I never have.
She's full of shit.
Yes, sir.
Not us.
They love it. Their families are very grateful that, you know, we have the machine. My cat, you know, I go in the morning and turn on my Conga machine, and the cat jumps off the bed, and he's right there sucking up the water as I'm filling up my cup as well. So.
Tell them, Denise, will you tell them about, because you were kind of skeptic too, because you were on the raw, you were doing the juice. Will you tell them about all that stuff too?
Yeah, so Ann introduced me to the raw diet, and I did that. And then I also had low thyroid, and was able to regain normal thyroid function from my diet. I did a grape juice fast, but so I had some medical issues that my doctors were telling me I was precancerous. They needed to do surgery, this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm almost, 48, and I want all my body parts. And so through a raw diet, I was able to avoid surgery, and I'm no longer precancerous. And the water, I mean, so when you try to tell people that you can avoid surgeries or regain function of your vital organs without having them removed, it's hard to tell them to go raw or do a grape fast or something like that. But when you tell them just change your water, then that is so much easier. Because I'm on well water here. And so I thought, oh, we're on well water. It's, you know, you can't get any better than Mother Earth. But when we had our water tested, it was super acidic. It was full of heavy metals. It didn't have enough calcium to even, so, you know, not all water, as we know, is created equal. Not even well water. I think well water, in some cases, is worse because of all the pesticides and all the stuff that, you know, the earth is soaking up into our water tables. And so it's just so important. Yeah. And my skin looks better. Everything about it is just amazing. And I'm looking forward to what the future holds for us.
Yeah, your skin looks absolutely beautiful. You're just like all the other Kong ladies. You're all.
And I'll be 49 this year. And, you know, when I tell people that, they're like, whoa, you know, but.
Yeah.
No, it's just to hear you guys talk about having skin problems and then to see your complexions now. You look like a couple of teenagers, you know what I mean? And I'm not even patronizing you. That's some real talk there. I mean, it's very clear. And people have the hardest time. And I think just to see these kind of testimonies, you know, we're not supposed to say cure and this and that, but I mean, I've got so many people that have avoided back surgeries, not because I told them to, but because they've been on the water for a month and a half prior to the surgery, and all of a sudden there's no need for it. You know, brain tumor removals, you know, it disappears before the doctors can get in Denver for my brother. And everyone's, well, I've never seen it before, and we can't believe it, yet, you know, the medical industry, they're like, woof, and, you know, my brother, he's, you know, a lot of people just drink the Kool-Aid. Hey, the government, the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, they all have my best interest at heart, so I can eat, live, drink like a train wreck, and I'll go to them, you know. But it's neat as hell to see people take the initiative to start thinking critically, step outside the box, step outside of the death aisles in the grocery store and start to go shop in the life aisles.
Death aisles.
You know. And what's crazy is even in those life aisles, you see 38 different versions of bottled water, and all in the last 10 years, you see 9.5 and pH popping up on them. And then you crack open that $4.50 24-ounce bottle, and it tests at a 200 ORP, and the pH is slightly green, you know, and you're like, what? But no. Back to your skin, back to your guys' glowing nature. I know Sister Britches over here is pregnant and packing another one, so she's got that glow, but you both are glowing like you're lit up from the inside out. And I think that's really commendable. It's very much praiseworthy moment for you guys to take the initiative, you know, having such health problems. I'm excited as hell for you guys. I got a couple girls over in your areas. I got a girl from high school in Portland, and I got a gal in Anqetil. I've been working on them hardcore. Pardon me?
Send her my way.
Where are you at?
I'm in Bothell. I'm only like 15, 20 minutes from Anqetil.
Oh.
And I'm doing a presentation on Wednesday for the public.
Really?
I can get you that information.
I'll track you down after all this. I'll send you a Facebook request and all that. Both you girls, if that's okay. And then, you guys got great stories. Again, your skin, I can't even believe that you guys had those types of problems, man. You guys just both look like you're on fire from within, and that's huge.
I'd like to touch on a few things that from what you said. I also feel like for me, and I think for Denise too, that we found like our purpose is like helping people, and that attributes to the outer just glowiness, I think, of like we found what we're here to do, and it's helping people, and it's so rewarding. And back to the skin, like I really struggled and it really messed with my self-esteem growing up. And I just remember like not wanting to look in the mirror. I didn't want to take pictures. I tried all the things. I tried Proactive. I tried, they put me on pills. I tried masks. I tried different cleaners, and nothing worked. Like, so maybe it would relieve like a little bit, but I would always have at least 1 or 2 or 3 zits. And I would always have to like wear my hair a certain way. I had it on my chest. I had it on my back. I had it on my arms, and I would have to wear like certain clothing to like try and cover it. Sometimes I would put Band-Aids over it because I would like pick at it, and it was just so bad. And if I can help someone, any teenagers or any kids my age, prevent that like crush of your self-esteem from having acne, like that's one of my goals, is to really help our kids and our future generations, and because it really messed with my self-esteem like more than I can even like, I don't even want to think about it, honestly. It's hard to even go back there. And like if I get a zit, I'm like, oh, this is what that's like. I forgot what that was like, and this sucks. Like all I see is this big red mark on my face, and it's just miserable, and it's totally preventable. Yeah. Well, honestly, I think it's more drinking it. It was drinking water was more. But then also I use the beauty water every day, and the Nespa. And the Nespa helps a lot too.
Nice. Wow. That is such an incredible. I love you guys' story. I'm so excited that you came on with us today. And, you know, I'd love to, like I said, I'd love to go live when you're down there at the juice bar the next go round, if you don't mind. That would be so sweet. If you just give me a heads up that you're going, we'll make sure that we schedule the time.
Okay.
And, you know, we can do this any old time of the day if we need to. And I'm all over it. I like to do this 7 days a week. And you know, that's one of the struggles, is trying to make this happen 7 days a week. Because it's what I want. What my ultimate goal is to have a rock star guest 7 days a week, and eventually have it scheduled out months in advance, so that I know who's coming in 7 days. And you know, so I really want to be able to do that, and it's definitely a struggle trying to get people in here. Because it's what I want. What my ultimate goal is to have a rock star guest. What's going on?
Hear an echo coming
Hey,
from
Marilyn.
Hey,
Marilyn,
have Marilyn put her mute her feed.
Yeah, mute yourself, Marilyn. It's definitely a struggle. I can actually mute her. There you go.
Yeah,
okay.
Get her off of there.
Well, Marilyn's the reason that Ann is on here, because she reached out to Ann and asked her to come on the show, because that's one of the things that I've been trying to, you know, plead with our guests to, hey, you know, if you had fun and you thought this was worthwhile, you know, please reach out to other people and ask them to come on the show. Because this crazy little rascal, JJ Surprise, he's having a heck of a time filling it up, and he wants to fill it up. He wants to give people the opportunity to share their stories. And
there she is.
We know that stories are what changed the world. And, you know, and so anything that we can do along that line to have another show, have another guest, have people here sharing the magic, that's what we really want to do. And Marilyn, good to see you, honey. And, you know, it's, I want to go on to another question here. This is always kind of the interesting question, that the different answers that I get to this question are always really interesting and insightful. You, Ann, are in a position, and you have somebody who potentially is interested in joining the Kong family, but they're a little on the, you know, they're standing on the fence or whatever. And you got one opportunity. You got one thing that you can say to them, and it's going to make or break whether they get involved, whether they jump off the fence, whether they put their flight suit on and jump off the cliff with you. You know, we got one thing to say to them. What is it?
I would probably say, what if this water could change your life and you didn't give it a chance?
Ooh. Yeah, that's like maple syrup on pancakes.
Yes.
That's some sticky, sweet truth right there.
I love it. So, Marilyn, you jumped in here, and I would like to ask you. To, you know, talk about how, because Ann is the reason that you're involved with Kong's Water, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So, why don't you shed a little bit of light for everybody on that and how this sweet angel here, Anne, has actually affected your life and what's happened for you in that regard.
Oh my Lord, I'm just so blessed that I was brought to the water. I can't thank her enough. I look up to her. She may be as old enough to be my granddaughter or whatever age we are. We have mentors of all ages, and she's one of mine. And I am blessed that I was able to change my mindset, not just my water, because now my brain is hydrated. Thank you, Anne. Now I'm able to share more, you know, the importance of what we are putting in our bodies. When it comes to our health, our wealth is more important within. So now I'm sharing that, and because of you, young lady, I am able to now reach out to others. And your story touched my heart the most when I seen that you were with child, and now you're with child again. I'm like, wow, you are such a mentor to all those mothers to be and those that are going to be. I'm so happy that I know you. Thank you for bringing me to the water.
Oh, I'm so thankful I know you too. So I introduced you to you, but now you're like bringing me into stuff like this, and you've totally just taken off and doing your own thing, like with or without me, like you're doing this is what it looks like. And I love it because I see your passion. And Marilyn and I got to meet in person for the first time a few months ago, and it was a lot of fun. And she's just very passionate about the water, and it comes off. And I just know you're gonna change a lot of lives, just like me.
Thank you. And you know, my husband's doing it now. He's starting to spread it at work. He took my brochure to work. He took my flip chart to work and my card.
No way.
Yes.
And so, you know, that is honestly one of the coolest stories that I have too, is Marilyn. I introduced the water to her, and I showed her the Killing Cancer Not People. I sent her chapter 6, and because her husband has had prostate cancer. And so I just introduced her that way. And it months and months and months of her husband being like, no, 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 no. And I'm just like, that's the only way we can, I didn't know how to get him on board. And I just kind of let it go and just knew, and I was manifesting for you, Marilyn, of your husband saying yes. And then one day it was a yes. And I was like, no way, so cool. And then I went there to visit, and he's like telling me stuff about Kong. And then and turns out he's started doing research, and now he's talking about it, and he's totally on board, supports it. And it's so cool to see that transition from stubborn to, like, what would be a good word? Stubborn to what?
Now he's like a flourishing seed. He's just flourishing it now. He's like hydrating, and you could see his skin even. And we just had a party Sunday for his stepfather, and his brother's real ill with heart problems, and we're going to go over to his house, and we're going to go over all the protocols of the water that will help him. And when I sat across from him and sitting with his brother, and I'm looking, oh my gosh, my husband's skin is so glaring. It's so clear. His eyes are getting white again. I'm like, wow. So awesome to see this. It's transforming him too, not just me. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
And Meinke, I can't thank you enough for answering my one question, and it led me to you, and now to Tom and Shawn and all these other people that has enlightened my life. Thank you so much. And they have changed me so much in the mornings. Now I'm doing an afternoon show.
Nice.
So cool. I love it.
It's all about, you guys, valuing people's lives for the better. And, I'm so, and your story is really something that hits me hard, because my mother was that way. She was one of these people that she never was able, in her whole life, her 66 years of youth, she never got out of that. She never got out of that deal, where they don't really know what's wrong with you. And so what they do is they just keep making guesses, and they keep giving you pills and bills, pills and bills, pills and bills, pills and bills. And by the time it was over with, my mom, she was one of these people that she was born sick. She had every kind of fever you can think of, all the different fevers, all the different problems, all the different issues. She was missing so many body parts. She had so many scars all over her body from the doctors. Them, you know, their solution was always a pill and a surgery, a pill and a surgery, a pill and a surgery, you know, and all of that garbage. And when she passed away in 1990, she was taking 22 different medications every day. It ended up poisoning it put a cyst on the backside of one of her kidneys. It poisoned her spinal fluid, turned her into a vegetable, and in 4 days she was gone. And you know, for me, it's like it still, when I get to thinking about it, it's like it was yesterday. It hurts. It still hurts. I still miss my mom so much. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this water and why I'm so hell-bent for leather to get this going and get people out here and get these stories shared is because I truly believe that my mother would still be here with me if I'd have known about this water. It was available. I just didn't know about it. I would have had to go to Japan and smuggle one in or something to get it to her, but I didn't know, and we don't know what we don't know, right? And
Exactly.
so our goal is to share and educate and open doors. People have to step through those doors. You know, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, but you can sprinkle some salt in his hay to make him thirsty. And, you know, so that's part of what we're doing here. And it's so passionate for me. And it's so awesome to hear your story because you were right there. You were on the way of my mom. You were going the same direction she was. You were going to keep going to those doctors and you were going to keep getting pill after pill after pill and bill after bill after bill. And next thing you're losing body parts and all this kind of crap. And then you end up, you know, my mom, she was alive for 66 years, but she really only lived a very short period of those lives or of that time frame. And, you know, most people, so many people, I should say, they're alive, but they're not really living.
Mm-hmm.
We want to help people live.
Yeah.
So it's just an absolute
quality of life is huge. Yeah. I'm really sorry to hear about your mom, and I definitely believe that if I would have stayed on the path that I was on, it was going to be quick to diagnose something. Like I think I would have gotten something like IBS or like some diagnosis, and I seriously felt like I was dying. Like I wasn't going to make it to see my 30s, and I feel like I have found the answer, like the fountain of youth. And I know that people are still suffering. And we were talking earlier about how this, like we laugh and we joke and you know, Kongan lifestyle is super fun, but there's people suffering out there and it breaks my heart. And, you know, people are dropping like flies because of preventable stuff that, you know, the doctors don't know. They're not educated that things are preventable in ways. And so I really feel like I'm on this mission to help save the world, which is such a daunting task, but I know having people like you guys around, we can make a difference, and I am making a difference. Just having Marilyn and Denise here, like this is so cool, because if I wouldn't have gotten on this Kongan train, I wouldn't have even built such a strong relationship with them. And now seeing how they're impacting others. And, you know, some people say like one person can't make a difference, but I made a difference in Marilyn's life. I made a difference in Denise's life. And now they're making a difference in other people's lives. If I wouldn't have persevered, because I wanted to give up so many times, just feeling overwhelmed with this task of saving the world. And then when I found the Kongan family, I was like, oh my gosh, all these people are trying to do what I'm doing. And we actually have a product that makes a huge difference, and not only in our health, but in our body's health, but the health of our environment, of Mother Earth, which is huge. Being able to eliminate all the plastic and all the crappy cleaners is huge for our health and for our environment.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can relate to that too, Ann. I remember being striving for life, and I was down to 98 pounds. And I wish I could have saved my sister's life. So I relate to you too, JJ. When I didn't know what to do for my sister, she came to me and asked what was going on with her health. They only give me 6 months to live. She only lived 2. And then I started showing signs of the same disease going on, and I went downhill. And then my husband, he, thank God, took out a loan to find my root cause, the why. And then I was led to you guys. This is an answered prayer. I could have been a goner. And I'm not. God's got a reason for me to still be here, to be the vessel. And now I'm led to the water, just like we are in baptism. We're led to the water. Well, let's drink it up and start sharing it.
Living water.
Yes, right here. Got my water.
So,
Hey, bless you. Hey, I just along these lines. That phone that was ringing, and forgive me for that. I didn't realize my ringtone was on super obnoxious loud. I don't know why.
We didn't even hear it.
Oh, good. I know JJ was on that mute button like a mongoose on a cobra. Hey, Ricky Tabby style for anybody. I'm dating myself. But the guy that called me, that's my buddy from Germany. His mom, this guy gave me grief for 3 years back in the, early 2010, 2011. Oh, you and your water. Well, then he calls me and his mom's got cancer, 2 to 3 months to live, golf ball, marble, had 2 chemos, did nothing for her. She was in her early 60s. She started drinking this water in her little stretch between her second and third chemos. Golf ball went smaller than the marble disappeared. The doctor made fun of her. She fired him, went another route, lived 4 more years. You know why she died? She died. She was, for 14 months, 12 to 14 months, her doctor had kept pressing her to do the last radiation that her insurance had already paid for. And we all know he ain't getting his kickback until she comes in and does the procedure. So she went and watered her horses one day. Everything was normal. She went in 10 days later, never left, died in the hospital from the radiation.
Oh my God.
These guys, they're aggressive. The medical industry is aggressive as hell because it's about the business of medicine to them. Now I'm getting really intense because you guys are saying everything. We have got to combat the medical industry and all their infinite bullshit. Now, emergency levels, emergency care, there ain't a country in the world that touches us. We are tops. But when it comes to lifelong sustaining health care, it's sick care.
I know.
And that is a perfect example of it. Maureen was awesome. She was the light of anybody's life that knew her. And Marcus and them at that point in time, once it started doing it with her, he took off. I got 60 some machines from this cat out in Europe and around the country from his guys playing ball. So he's going to come on the show here in the near future. Possibly by the end of the week. He's 8 hours ahead of us. So that's a show I want you guys to be able to listen to. But no, everything you guys are saying, it's so strength in numbers. Just, excuse me, just to hear the feedback. To Ann, to Marilyn, to Denise, to Marilyn, to Ann, to JJ. It's just the dialogue. What we're talking about is, you said the fountain of youth, Ann. I like to throw it on the backside because I'm kind of a verbal connoisseur. Is the fountain of youth and the elixir of truth.
It's right.
But that's it. We have the truth, and we just got to share it unabashedly, unashamedly, and we've got to be as aggressive with people that we care about as the doctors are being aggressive with people they could care less about in terms of the treatments and the chemos and the radiations and the surgeries and the dialysis and all this mess. We have an equal task. So I love the fact that you girls are strapped up at the boots, ready to go to war and change people's lives out of love and compassion and purpose. That's the beauty of it. That's the absolute fantastic nature of this call. And then my man calls me during that, and we're all talking about all this stuff, So that's just, to me, that's God working. That's the universe assembling itself.
Yes.
We're all on the right page, man, and I'm telling you, good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we're all on the right page, and we just got to stay convicted to our purpose. And,
exactly.
One person at a time. We ain't out there barking on the rooftops and, with
One
megaphones at street corners.
One drop, 1 ounce, 1 cup, 1 gallon. We can change the world.
That's it. That's it.
That's my new shirt. I got it, and I got my new shirt. I designed this.
Negative OH. I like it.
Yep, I designed it. It came in the mail the other day. So we got to do that. We got to get it out there. We got to hydrate the world.
Purposeful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys, what an incredible show again today. You know, this is just amazing. I'm so grateful and so blessed to be able to hear these stories on a daily basis. It really, it's been tremendously life-changing for me. And you know, and one of my goals with creating this show is also to help people spread themselves, help get exposure to the people who come out here. And one of the things that I've said, because I had a gal who came and got water from me for a couple of weeks, and then she ended up going and buying her machine from somebody else because she was irritated with my upline, and she didn't want my upline to be making any money off of her, and so she went and bought her machine somewhere else. And I told her, I said, that's awesome. I'm just tickled that you got your machine. I don't care who you bought it from. It doesn't matter to me. That would have been great if you would have bought it from me, but whatever. That's not the important part. The important part is that you got your machine, you got Kong, you got it into your family, you got it into your life. If there's ever anything that you need help with, if there's any questions, if there's anything I can do, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I didn't get mad at her like a lot of people would do. And the reason why is because I simply don't care. I don't care where people get their machine from. I don't care. If there's somebody on this show that ends up watching this that I've been working with for 6 months or 2 years trying to get them to get their machine, and for some reason they come in here and you're the one who sparked the light in their brain cell and they want to work with you and they want to get their machine from you, hey, I'm all over it. I want them to get their machine from you because that's where they want to get their machine, because you're the one who sparked the light in their life. And, to me, that kind of stuff doesn't matter, because I happen to know how the power of positivity works and how the law of attraction works. And I know that there's going to be people out there that they're going to want to work with me. And there's going to be people out there that are going to want to work with you and want to work with Shawn and want to work with Marilyn. And so what I like to do at the end of these shows is I like to give the guests the opportunity to give out whatever information they want to give out about themselves, so that people out there that are going to be seeing this as time goes by, that they get in here and they resonate with you and they want to work with you. But if they don't know how to get a hold of you, if they don't know how to connect with you, then they're not going to be able to do that. It's going to make it much more difficult for them to do that. And so, in the closing of the minutes of this, I'd really love it if you could give your information, whatever information you want to give, from phone numbers to website addresses to whatever. You give it out, and you let people know how they can hook up with the incredible and Meinke.
Awesome, thank you. So I am also an author. I don't know if you know this, but I wrote a book a few years ago. I actually have it right here. So it's called Vasquez, and this was like before I found the water. But this is like they say change your water, change your life, but it's not. And the water helps a lot, but if you also change your diet and your lifestyle, that'll help even just add to it even more. So this book it's like full color. It's just beautiful. It has 64 plant-based recipes. My site for people to buy it is mamaintheraw.com. So it's MAMAINTHERAW.com. And this, I think, goes hand in hand with the water and would be a perfect gift to give, honestly, if when someone buys a machine, they should get my book too, I think.
Yes.
Yes. And I do plan, I'm going to do a revised version and add a whole chapter about the water when I get the time to do that. I'm also a certified health coach, and people who I tend to get a machine from me, sometimes we end up working together that way too, because I have a lot of knowledge up here that I'm just anyone who will listen and wants to ask questions, I'm just over the moon to help them and to share my knowledge. I'm also so my website is the main thing, and then I don't mind giving my number out if anyone wants to contact me. It's 206-552-5045, and I think that's about it. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. This is fun.
Oh, you're
one
so
more
welcome.
time, sister. I need to get that from you here. Hold
okay.
on. Because I'm going to track you down. I want to connect you with Kim. She's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be able to dial in with her. I'll throw you a few bones. I like to throw somebody like 25 a point. I'm at a 6A, thank you kindly. So I'll definitely help you out for watering it, but bring it, honey. What was that again? You got the old Washington area code. I love it. I used to have a 206. Okay, 206, 202?
206 552
552.
5045.
5045.
Yeah.
Word. Cool. Much obliged.
And I'm doing a presentation this Wednesday in Linwood, which is only like 15 minutes from Anqetil. And it's open to the public. It's at the Old Spaghetti Factory at 7 p.m. Wednesday the 3rd. And it will probably be my last presentation there. Once a month we do that in this local area. We do that once a month. And that'll probably be my last time there because I'm going to take a break because I'm going to have a baby.
Yeah. So Denise, real quick, I'd love to, I don't know if you just heard all of that discussion and because our thing is we want to connect people. And there might be people who want to know about your juice bar. They might want to be able to know how to get a hold of you and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Denise, could you please give whatever contact information that you would like to give out so that people who resonate with you, that they can get a hold of you and they can work with you and they can maybe buy their machine from you and that kind of thing. So can you give out some information about yourself and how people can get a hold of you?
Just come if you're in the Bandon area. Come on into the Bandon Juice Bar. It's called Rossum Juices and Smoothies.
It's called what?
Rossum.
Oh,
Awesome.
Rossum Juices and
love
Smoothies. We're
That
all
is
plant-based,
awesome.
no dairy. And we have, like I said, we have the water station. You can come try out the water, see for yourself how the magic can change your life. And our website is bandonjuicebar.com.
Awesome. A whole new term. I love
We're
it.
mostly
Wow.
raw, but always awesome.
You
Now,
know
what
what's
about
funny
your
is
Facebook
initially I
handles?
thought, initially with that hairdo, I thought she said Rasta.
Rasta.
And I was like, that is huge. But then she said Rossum, and it was even more Rossumer. So like
Rossumer.
Rossumer, that's like a Scooby-Doo word. Rossum?
Well, that just put a whole new spin on it.
That's it, man. Royce? Ruh-roh.
You guys are awesome. Thanks.
I know. You guys know how to light up our life, man.
Like I said at the beginning, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing something wrong.
That's right.
You need to figure out how to have fun doing whatever it is you're doing. And I'm kind of the king of fun. I make fun a big priority in my life, and that's what keeps me getting younger every year. I get younger every year. I'm not getting older every year.
I'm not getting older.
Right, you know. And so, yes, I sure appreciate you guys. And, you know, Marilyn, you might as well give everybody your contact information as well, so that anybody that wants to hook up with you, that they can do that. So please take a minute and tell everybody what they need to know to be able to get a hold of the lovely Marilyn.
Okay, I was just getting an interruption phone call. Sorry about that. It's my husband. Well, we can get together on Facebook if we'd like. I do have my own website too. My website is marianquetil0604.coggan.com. And my phone number is 989-737-7864. And my motto is 1 ounce, 1 cup, 1 gallon, H2O, wellness for health and hydration. So it's awesome that we can do this and share.
He sings it. Yeah.
Definitely.
You know something's going on when they're sharing information and they sing it like Snow White in the forest. That's beautiful. Hey, for the record, I was quick draw McGraw on all you 3 ladies on the whole Facebook request level. So you better add Wetzel. I know where you live and I know your phone numbers now. Hey,
Awesome.
listen,
And that's
go ahead.
That's another thing. People can add me on Facebook. If I'm probably going to be tagged in this. I have hundreds of live streams on from the last few years of between health and wellness and food and the water. Lots of resources on my site. If you dig through the videos, you can actually watch me evolve.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, should I take some of those old videos down because I'm just such a different person now? But you can totally see, and you can see me lose the weight. Like when I started doing live streams about the water, people were like, "Whoa, you look like really good. Like what's going on?"
Mhm.
And I'm actually probably going to jump on and do a live stream today about my Kangen pregnancy. So that's a really good place to find me is on Facebook too.
Mhm.
Yes. How about you, Denise? You're on Facebook too, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm not real active.
Hey, you need to
And
do
juice
that.
Too
bar,
busy,
or,
really.
what's Rossum Juices and Smoothies. You can follow us there.
Yeah.
My co-partner posts a lot about the water on there.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Well, remember,
Awesome or Rossum.
we would love to be able to have a visit from the juice bar as soon as is possible. As soon as the next time you're down there, Ann, or even Denise, if you want to go live one day, if you think something fun's going to be going on and you'd like to share.
Ann knows me. I don't go live.
I would
No,
love
I'm surprised she
You're
came on
going
here,
live.
honestly.
I'm camera shy.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're going live right now. You're live
Yeah.
on the Con family page. You're going live. So guess what?
You're hooked. You're hooked now.
You're a rock star, and you don't.
Is my
even
face
know it.
red?
You look.
We caught your fish. We got you by the
That
hook.
was the Kangen glow.
Yes. Yeah, you look like an angel. That's what you look like to me. A real live angel from heaven.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
what
bless her heart.
you all are. And thank you so much for coming here
She
today.
really is too.
What?
Oh, Denise really is an angel. Like the way she takes care of her people at her foster home and just the whole community. Like what she's giving her community is such a gift. She's one of my angels for sure.
Yes.
Mm.
So are you.
Con family is full of angels, and we love bringing them here. And so anybody that you know that you think might have a great story to share and might be willing to come on here, please put them in touch with me. Please let me get them a scheduled date and get in here so we can hear their stories. And, thank you so much, you guys. I love you all. And it's been such a blessing to get to meet you this morning. And I look forward to working with you as time goes by. You know, this is just getting started, and we are going to change the world. And how are we going to do that, Shawn?
One glass of 9.5 Kangen water at a time. In my best Don Pardo voice.
Yes. And so I've got to get moving. I got an appointment at 10 o'clock here.
Yeah, my
But
probation
I just wanted
officer.
to leave you guys with, don't forget your hugs. Do not forget your hugs and your HooDeeHooo. And you guys have yourselves a blessed day. Go out there and change some more lives.
Thank you.
And, we love
Love
you
seeing
with all of our
you.
hearts, and we look forward to the next go
Love
round.
and light. Love and light.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Nice meeting you all again.
Got it, girls. Hey, real pleasure. Thank you. Had fun today. Look forward to working together again in the near future. Until then, God bless you. Be well. And just continue to share this blessing of Kangen water with everybody that you do.
And stay hydrated.
That's it.
Much love,
Yeah.
kids. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.
Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.